What's going on, guys? JSGC here, back again with another Man City live watch-along, where today we're going to be doing the live watch-along of Man City's game at home against Brentford in the Carabao Cup quarter-final. Man City know with a win today, not only does it keep our momentum going and it makes it 6 wins in a row for Manchester City, but also a win will send Man City to the semi-final of the Carabao Cup, sometimes referred to as the League Cup, sometimes referred to as the English Football League Cup or the EFL Cup. So they're the different names. I'm sure I'll be using many of them different names during this stream, so just giving a bit of context there. But Man City here have a wonderful opportunity to progress to a semi-final of a major cup competition, a domestic cup competition here in England, and a good chance for us to be able to win a trophy. Let's not forget, last season Man City, in terms of major silverware, went trophyless, and it's something that we're looking to improve on this season. And really what you want to do is win the first available major trophy to us, and the first available major trophy in the English football calendar is the League Cup, and that's the competition that City are taking part in today, and it's a big game here against Brentford, another Premier League team who I'm sure will also want to try and win this cup, because not only is the prize money good for the club, it's a major trophy, as I said, which is worth celebrating, and also a spot in Europe as well, which I'm sure will be a big appeal for Brentford. So Manchester City need to be wary. Let's not forget as well that if this game finishes level after 90 minutes, the game will go straight to penalties. There is no extra time, and obviously it's not the FA Cup. We don't have replays, and even they've been scrapped as well. So yeah, here we are. A chance here for Manchester City to make it to the semi-final of the League Cup, which I think would be absolutely brilliant. It was also just a perfect game, really, for Man City to be able to rotate and rest a lot of their players, and Pep Guardiola has taken that opportunity to do so tonight. So it is very much, all change at Manchester City for today's game, which definitely could well disrupt momentum in this game. And the last time that City chose to do this, of course, was that match against Bayer Leverkusen in the Champions League at home, and we lost that game by 2-0. And we're not too dissimilar today with the same starting 11 from that evening. So it'll be interesting to see about what progress the players have made, because when we're looking at a team that's not really played together with each other, you're going to be looking towards them big individual moments, and we've got some players who are fighting for their places, not just in the starting 11, but for me, fighting for places in the Manchester City squad and their Manchester City future. So a lot really on the line here, and I sense that should Man City lose this game, it's going to be a further nail in a lot of the players who are starting today their City career. So the players have really got to see the alarm bells and say to themselves, what do I want to achieve here at Man City? Do I want to be a player who only features in the cup whenever Man City are taking on lower league opposition, and I'm not a player that's going to be trusted whenever it's time for rotation and it's time to be taking on some of the better teams, the Premier League teams, the Champions League teams? So for me, it's all about what Manchester City and these players that are starting today, what do they want to achieve? What do they want to do? And I'd say probably 90% of the players that are starting today, that really is the case. So yeah, we'll speak about the teams, because I think this is one of the more interesting Pep Guardiola starting 11s. We'll speak about that in just one moment. So don't forget, if you are enjoying today's stream, then please do leave a thumbs up. It lets me know that you are enjoying the stream, and of course, aiming for 100 likes. We're already a fifth of our way there. We've got 80 likes to go, so any help towards that, guys, would be much appreciated. Don't forget to go check out my social media links. You can find them in the description or on the yellow banner at the bottom of the screen if you want to go and follow me on my X, Instagram and TikTok. Email also in the description too if you want to hit me up for any sponsorships for any videos or any general business inquiries. Don't forget as well to subscribe to my channel. It is free to subscribe, and do get your thoughts as well in the comments below if you're watching this after the stream. And if you're watching live right now, do feel free to get your thoughts in the live chat. What are your score predictions for today's game? And also what is where you're tuning in from as well. That would be much appreciated. Mercy, welcome. Thank you for tuning in. Connor, welcome. Thanks for tuning in. We'll go over the teams in just one moment. Dave, thanks for tuning in. Much appreciated. He's going with Brentford rotating. He reckons City win this game. Goes with a 3-1 victory today for Manchester City, and also says the thoughts to the Macclesfield players' family. One of the Macclesfield players has very sadly passed away. Very, very sad. Yeah, they've died in a car accident. I think it was it yesterday, which is extremely sad. Very sad, and yeah, all the thoughts of everyone associated with the JSGC channel goes out towards the players, the players' family and friends at this very difficult time. Yeah, I read that just this afternoon, which was very sad to hear. Corey, welcome. Thanks for tuning in. Going for a 2-1 victory today for Man City. Connor, nice and positive. Going for a 4-0 Man City win. Adrian, thanks for tuning in. Says Rayan Cherki, Savinho, Oscar Bobb. He says they all need to score for Man City today, as there's been plenty of questions, hasn't there, when it's come to speaking about the wingers at Man City, and are the attackers doing enough to score and assist and help out Erling Haaland? So it would be good to see Oscar Bobb, Rayan Cherki, Savinho, Makasa, who are all starting in attack today. It'd be good to see if they can all go and score and assist for Man City. In particular, I'm looking towards Savinho, one of the most experienced attackers that we've got at the club right now, and even then, he's not a very experienced player, but he's the most experienced player that we've got in attack from a starting 11 point of view, and I'm looking towards Savinho to really take control of that responsibility, for him to go out, prove his point, score the goals, and send Man City through to the semi-final. If Savinho wants to be starting in the absence of Jeremy Doku, who's out for 3 weeks, as confirmed by Pep Guardiola, then he needs to start scoring and assisting. He's made a couple of good cameo appearances for Man City in our last 2 games, away against Real Madrid in the Champions League last midweek, and also last weekend against Crystal Palace away from home. I'm looking for him now. He's got his start to grab that opportunity with both hands and showcase that his City career isn't over, that he is pushing to be starting them games, because with Doku out, the game against West Ham at the weekend is a great game for Savinho, if he does well here, to be starting in that game. So we'll see what does happen. Interesting, real interesting call, and one of the more interesting parts of the team selection for Man City today. All Things Football, welcome, thanks for tuning in. Says I want Macedo to get an appearance at some point this season. Thinks he's got potential. I mean, he might. He's not in the squad today, unfortunately, but you do never know. Adrian says City need to progress to keep Trafford, Ake and Gray happy, in terms of saying that he wants them to be getting more appearances for Man City, and he's basically saying there that he doesn't see Trafford getting all that many more minutes other than in the FA Cup if Man City go out today, and same with Nathan Ake. I mean, I'll be honest, I'll be surprised if Nathan Ake is still a Man City player by the end of the January window, which the semi-finals I think do take place in January, so Ake may still be at City for the semi-final if we get there, but if Man City make it to the final of this competition, I'm not too sure that Nathan Ake will still be a Manchester City player, so we'll see. Geffin says, not that confident because Brentford have barely rotated their squad and City have fully rotated their squad. Brentford don't need to rotate. I'm surprised they've rotated as much as they have. They don't need to do it, to be honest. They've got, they're not really competing for too much in the Premier League, and I don't feel like there's any harm in them trying to take this competition seriously. Man City are going to rotate, so if you're a starting 11 player for Brentford, you'll be rubbing their hands at full strength. They can do to us what Bayer Leverkusen did to Man City last month, so we'll see. All Things Football, I don't know too much about him. Funny, who's on the bench for Man City, but I'm sure we will find out if he comes off the bench for City today, which would be good. Connor said he would like to have seen Caden Brathwaite on the bench today for Manchester City. Unfortunately, doesn't make the squad for today's game. It's hard to pick and choose, really, when you Pep Guardiola about which youngsters you're going to go for. But a good opportunity for the youngsters who are in the squad for Man City today to showcase what they can do, and that's pretty much what Tito's saying as well. Yeah, point for all starters to prove today. RPG, thanks for tuning in. Heavily rotated squad, but it's a good chance for them to show why they are in the team. But will it be good enough? That's the big question, and we'll find out in the next couple of hours or so, won't we, my friend? Thank you for tuning in. Connor, I've no idea why Nico Gonzalez isn't being rested. We've not really got many options for him. The other option would have been Calvin Phillips. I've not had a look at the City bench in a lot of detail, but I don't think Calvin Phillips makes the squad for today's game, so... yeah, RPG going for a 2-1 City win, and his name's Andrew, so welcome Andrew, tuning in from Canada. Vancouver in the room. Do let me know where you are tuning in from. We've got Klaus in as well, Klaas in as well, tuning in from Sweden. We've got unofficial Martin tuning in. Welcome Martin, back from hibernation. Do hope you're well, my friend. You at the game today, Martin? Connor going with a 4-0 Man City win. Connor also asked, will we potentially see Jeremy Doku returning back to Manchester City for our game against Sunderland? Potentially. Pep Guardiola said that was the target. I think if he's not back for the Sunderland game, the next target will be the game after that, which is Chelsea. If he's not back for that, then I think City will be targeting perhaps the FA Cup game against Exeter. So we're looking sometime at the beginning of January, which I don't think is too bad. It could have been a lot worse with a leg injury. It could have been, 6, 7, 8 weeks. So the fact we're looking at 3 weeks, and one of them weeks is spent with Man City having a rest over the little festive period break that we've got between the 20th and the 27th of December, it could have been worse, in my opinion. Suleiman, thanks for tuning in from Sierra Leone. Tito, there isn't too many games that we're missing with Doku. It doesn't help that the African Cup of Nations is taking place during the season, but it is what it is, and we know that when we bring in players who represent African countries. We know when we signed Marmoush last January that he's going to be going to AFCON, and we knew that with Rayan Ait-Nouri when we brought him in the summer, so we've just got to deal with that. Connor, I've not heard about Atletico Madrid's interest. To be fair, I've not really been checking too much in the last few hours, so it may have skirted around me. Jeff Welcome says 115 having a third B-day is crazy work because they're just taking so long to make a decision. I thought we'd have got one at the November international break, but here we are. Richard, thanks for tuning in. Much appreciated. Do hope you're well. Says, I hope Brentford aren't going to park the bus. Hoping to see a nice open game. Me too, Richard. I hope to see a nice open game of football. Have you got any bets on? That's the big question. I presume that you might have, and you might have gone with both teams to score, or some goal scorers, or something to happen. To be fair, Brentford have nothing to lose in going for this, so I hope that they are going to go for this. I think they might also take a bit of encouragement that, there's no extra time. It goes straight to penalties, so if they can just sit back, park that bus and get a 0-0 and get it to penalties, I guarantee you right now, Brentford have been practicing them penalties, so I hope City have as well. Geffin says Savinho needs to score or assist this game because I hear a lot of City fans saying we should just sell Savinho. I always say you need 2 seasons under Pep Guardiola to adapt and see what you can do. I'm confident that Savinho has a lot of quality. He shows glimpses of it. He just needs a bit of a confidence boost. A couple of goals, score here, start against West Ham, score against West Ham, and he could be good to go from there on out. As far as I'm concerned, he's got all the potential. He's got you're probably looking, he's probably got a month to prove himself because I could see City being all over Antoine Semenyo from AFC Bournemouth if no one else is going to be. A homegrown player as well, which if Nathan Ake wants to leave, we've got space in our squad for another attacker to come in and another homegrown player to come in. So it could be a case that they do want to bring in Semenyo, and Pep Guardiola's made no secret. He wants wingers who are going to go and score and assist on a regular basis. So Savinho, he's got his opportunity. If he wants it to work at City, he's got to make it happen, and it's got to happen tonight, in my opinion. Jay, thanks for tuning in. Says, don't see Nico G playing against West Ham. He's tuning in from Norway. Big shout out to you, Norway. Lovely country. Who do we rotate him with? That was my problem. When I did my preview, I was like, I can see Man City going with a couple of experienced players and players who maybe need a rest and they're not getting a rest. Nico Gonzalez and Nico O'Reilly, 2 players that need a rest, and I can see them getting a rest against West Ham. It's just, who do you rotate them with? O'Reilly would have been Ait-Nouri. Today would have been a perfect time for Ait-Nouri to have got 90 minutes under his belt for City, and it's not happened. He's gone to AFCON, and there's nothing that we can do about it. Nathan Ake, probably the other option for Man City, and I think if Ake does well today, he could be the option for Man City on that left-hand side to give Nico O'Reilly a break. But the Nico G problem, we've got a big Nico G problem, and it all stems from the Rodri problem that we've had over the last 3 seasons or so, and our lack of doing anything about having any alternatives with Rodri. Nico G's really embedded himself in, but because Rodri's got a serious injury and he's still getting over that serious injury, we just don't have that many options. And with an injury to Mateo Kovacic at the same time, him being out till March, it's unlucky, but we don't really have anyone else that can come in. Caoimhin Phillips would be the other player, but, even though he's been registered, not been utilised today, so yeah, we'll see. Connor, I'm going to do a video on Marc Guéhi next time I do my City transfer update. Looking forward to getting my teeth into that. Class player would be a real good signing if we are looking at signing a centre-back. Obviously, probably looking at gain at Nathan Ake if he leaves. You want to bring in a homegrown player who plays as a centre-back, then Marc Guéhi would make a lot of sense from Crystal Palace with his contract being up in the summer. Probably available for a good price, and City keen, and apparently he's keen as well. I know Liverpool also very keen, so we'll see. I'll speak about it on my next transfer update at some point in the next week or so. All things football. Rodri is training. I just don't know when he's going to make the squad. I think City don't want to take any chances, so there's no time frame on when he's expected to be back, so we'll see. Tijjani Reijnders could be an option for Nico Gonzalez. I wonder if we might see Tijjani Reijnders maybe try and help Nico G in that spot. It's not something we've really seen him play. We've seen him play in that double pivot, that number 8 role, the box-to-box player. Not really seen him do the number 6 role and play in that deeper role. I always think to myself that Tijjani Reijnders, you want the best out of him. You want him playing in a more attacking role because for me, in terms of his physicality, he struggled a little bit to adapt to life in the Premier League, and because he struggled with that, defensive midfield's a very physical area of the pitch, and I just feel like he needs to, bulk himself up a little bit. It's like Rico Lewis, he could probably cover there as well, and from the distribution side of things, he'd be doing a cracking job, but I prefer for there just to be a big, more physical player to be able to help there. John Stones would be an ideal player, but he's also injured, and having Rodri, Stones and Kovacic injured all at the same time means we've just not really got any room for rotation for Nico G, and I'm a bit fearful that might need to lead to Nico G picking up a little niggle, and a little niggle going from missing maybe a game or two becomes a 6 weeks to 8 week injury, and it can become very problematic for Man City very quickly. So we'll see. Douglas, thanks for tuning in. Not that I'm aware of from the academy that could come in and play defensive midfield. City like to go with the experienced players. The most experienced player that they've got that could help rotate, who's a natural defensive midfielder, is Caoimhin Phillips. And I spoke about it in my preview. I thought he might have made the squad for today's game, but here we are. Tells you everything you need to know. And I thought it would have been a good opportunity actually to sell Caoimhin Phillips live on telly to all the clubs that are watching, saying, Caoimhin Phillips he's still got it, but here we are. Anyway, looking at the results from yesterday, Chelsea beat Cardiff away 3-1, got the job done in the end. So they've gone through to the semi-final. You've got 2 more Carabao Cup games taking place today. It's Man City against Brentford at 7:30pm GMT. That game kicking off in 7 minutes, the game that we're going to be doing the live watch-along for. You've also got Newcastle United taking on Fulham. That game taking place at 8:15pm GMT. The other game for the Carabao Cup's not going to be taking place until next week. That's taking place next Tuesday, 23rd of December at the Emirates Stadium. It's Arsenal taking on Crystal Palace at 8pm GMT. I do believe the draw for the semi-final of the Carabao Cup is taking place after the conclusion of the Newcastle-Fulham game. That game's scheduled to end probably around 10:10, 10:15 tonight GMT. The draw probably not going to be until probably after 10:30 tonight GMT. Hopefully Man City's name will be in the draw and we'll get the job done here against Brentford. So we'll have a quick look then at the lineups before we have kick-off for today's game, because we've just had so many talking points for today's game. All Things Football reckons John Stone's going to go soon. He just can't fit in, and it's a shame because he's so good when fit. And I think that echoes my thoughts. When he's fit, he's outstanding. He's just not fit often enough. He can't do 3 games in a week, and whilst he can't do 3 games in a week, he's not reliable. And he's on £250,000 a week. He's one of the highest paid players at City. If you're one of the highest paid players at City, you've got to be available week in, week out. And John Stones, I'm sure he's worked really hard to keep himself fit. The man's made of glass, He can't keep himself fit. He would be an amazing player for a club who plays once a week. We will never play once a week unless we exit all the competitions and we exit them early. And it means we've had a disastrous season if that does happen. So I just don't think Man City right now, at the point in John Stones' career and with his injury record and his fitness, we're not the right club for him. He's out of contract in the summer, and I'd say it's the perfect time for John Stones to walk away with the wage that he's on. If he was willing to come down on his wage, I'd be more than happy for City to offer him another 12 months, because I think he'd be a really useful squad player. But the amount of money that we're paying for him, it's the kind of player that you're dealing with here who'd be a regular starter, and it's just not the case with John Stones. And it'd be probably easiest for Man City just to say, see you later, John Stones, and move on. You know, Mark Gahey, a good option. Vita Hayes, could be a real good option. Juma Bar that we've brought in could be a real good option. So there's a very competitive market there for centre-backs. I mean, Abdukodir Khusanov as well, starting today. He'll want to make his point in today's game, I've no doubt. So what do you do? What do you do? Richard, Calvin Phillips never had it. He didn't, did he? £4 million? Leeds had our pants down with that one. Connor says, what are my thoughts on Donnarumma being crowned as the FIFA Best Men's Goalkeeper for 2025? No surprise. Champions League winner with PSG. An excellent goalkeeper, and a big congratulations to Gianluigi Donnarumma on his award. Hopefully he can have a real good campaign with Man City this season, and he can help get Italy to the World Cup, and they can have a good time at the World Cup, and he can win it in 2026 with Man City as well. So we'll see. I've not been keeping an eye on Juma Bar. I do my loan reports in March, so I'll probably have a quick nosy at how our loan players are doing. I normally do that around January, February time ahead of the loan reports. I like to give players at least 6-7 months on loan before you can make a good judgment. I know obviously Claudio Echeverry's loan set to come to an end, and I know there's been some question marks about Zaveri Naipan's loan at Middlesbrough as well, but I think that's just down to Middlesbrough's doing really well. They've got a settled squad, a squad that potentially looks good for promotion. So because of that, I think that's affecting Naipan's loan minutes, and I suspect that if that does happen, Man City could recall him and send him to maybe another championship team. I know Preston North End have been just getting linked with him, so we'll see. Josie, thanks for tuning in, cheering on Manchester City today. Connor, I did see that about Claudio Echeverry. I'll speak about that in my next transfer update. Very interesting. For those that are unaware, set to be recalled from his loan at Bayer Leverkusen and set to go on loan to Girona, who are interested in bringing him in. Right, I said I'll speak about the team, so I will speak about the teams. Brentford have rotated. They're going with a 5-3-2 formation. They're going with Valdemarson starting in goal. It's Coyote on one side and Rico Henry on the other. A back three made up of Azure, Collins and Vandenberg. A midfield three made up of Janelt, Jensen and Yarmouk, with Damsgaard and Shade starting as their two attackers for today. Lots of quality on the bench, including that of Kelleher, Arthur, Hickey, Pinnock, Connacht, Part, Harris, Donovan, Lewis Potter and Nunes. Surprised not to see Igor Thiago on the bench there, but here we are. Brentford, they have rotated. For Man City, we've also rotated. Man City starting 11 for today, a 4-2-3-1 formation. Lining up with James Trafford in goal, it's Rico Lewis, Abdukodir Khusanov starting, along with Nathan Ake and Nico O'Reilly making up Man City's back four. It's Nico Gonzalez, Tijjani Reijnders and Rayan Cherki as Man City's midfield three. Savinho on one side, Oscar Bobb on the other. Suspect it will be Bobb on the right and Savinho on the left, and Divin McArthur starting as City's striker. Nathan Ake, captain for Man City today. Huge game for him. He's got a huge point to prove, playing for his City career. I feel like that's the same case for Savinho, for Oscar Bobb. I'm looking for big minutes for them. Tijjani Reijnders got a good chance to help grab this game by the scruff of the neck. I'm hoping Rayan Cherki can show his quality. Nice to see, hopefully, a full 90 minutes for Rico Lewis as well. So, good stuff. On the bench for City today, you've got Donnarumma and Funny, Gvardiol, Dias, Foden, Silva, Nunes, Haaland and youngster Charlie Gray. Man City being led by manager Pep Guardiola, Brentford being led by manager Keith Andrews. Hopefully be a good game of football and hopefully end with Man City winning today, continuing our momentum, making it 6 wins in a row and progressing to the semi-final of the Carabao Cup. Kind of cheering on Manchester City. I didn't get to hear the song from, sorry, Jean. I've not got the sound on, so I don't know what any noise is being made. I'm afraid. And Jean says, yeah, Norway v Norway. You got Oscar Bobb taking on Christophe Azure as well. You do. Justin asking the big questions. What goalkeepers are we going to keep at Man City? I think James Trafford's going to stay. Until at least the end of the season, going off Pep Guardiola's comments. It doesn't sound too promising about James Trafford still being a Man City player for the 2026-2027 season, but here we are. So we may need a new backup goalkeeper. I just don't think Man City were expecting to sort out the Ederson situation so soon, and I think once they found out Donnarumma was available, have said, we really want him, and cleared out Ederson, and obviously James Trafford kind of sold down the drain a little bit, and I feel sorry for him from that aspect. There's a good goalkeeper there. I don't think he's going to get given a full opportunity. He did have them run of Premier League games at the beginning of the season. He did look a bit shaky in terms of his distribution. I think it'd have been quite interesting if he'd done 3 or 4 months of consecutive starts. But here we are to see what his progress is. I just feel like James Trafford, because we brought Donnarumma in, I just don't think Man City are now the right club for him, unfortunately. And I think that's a great shame. I really do. I can see him going to another good Premier League team, and I can see him doing really well with another team. Obviously played for Burnley. He'd probably think in hindsight he maybe should have stayed at Burnley or got his move to Newcastle. But yeah, here we are. Anyway, guys, don't forget, leave a thumbs up. We're just 12 likes away from 50. Any help towards that would be great. Do subscribe as well if you're new around here. That would be much appreciated. Right, Brentford just choosing to press Man City here early on. And they got themselves, I think, a throw in here. A chance for them just to put something into the Man City area. So something for City to defend here. I am watching on Now TV, by the way, guys. It's about 20 to 30 seconds behind real time. So I would appreciate, as Man City will get that one clear eventually. I'd appreciate if you are ahead of me. I've got the timer on so you can see what minute I'm up to. I'd appreciate nobody spoiling it for me. I've got some mods in, but if there's spoilers coming in, I can add some more mods, and I'd appreciate the mods dealing with anyone who wants to spoil it. Anyone that's spoiling, anything happening in the game, including goals, cards and things, mods, boot them out, please, because I don't want the streams being spoiled. Not only for me, but also for others as well who may not be able to watch in real time. Nobody wants to see spoilers, so we're clamping down on it. We're clamping down on it. All things football, do I think O'Reilly can start for England at the World? I not only think he's going to be in the squad, I think he's going to be starting for England on that left-hand side if he continues how he's been. He's been a breath of fresh air for City on that left-hand side. He's versatile, he's tall, reads the game really well. For a player so young, he's very, very mature for his age. Very impressed. I think he starts for me. Matheus Nunes. He's improved a lot. He has improved a lot. His pace helps him a lot. I think he looks stronger than he has in any other previous season with City. And it's good to see Matheus Nunes now becoming an important player, because we paid a lot of money for him. What was it? Not over £50 million we paid for him. So it's good to see him not only coming good, and also in the absence of Jeremy Doku for the next 3 weeks, he's a good option on that left-hand side as well. Julia, welcome. Thank you for tuning in. Do hope you are well. Andy and Alison, thank you for tuning in. Do hope you're well as well. Tuning in from York. In Yorkshire, obviously. Thank you for tuning in. John, thanks for tuning in. Yeah, Rico Lewis just kind of burst onto the scene, didn't he? He helped. I said helped. I was a big fan of João Cancelo, but he was a great player. But he helped João Cancelo to get out of the door at Man City. Weren't happy that it displaced him, and then we're not really seeing Rico Lewis kick on. Nico O'Reilly got given his opportunity in the second half of last season, looked very impressive in the FA Cup in that away game against Bournemouth, and he's not really looked back since. I mean, I'd be very surprised. Seamus, thanks for tuning in. I'd be very surprised if Phil's not off on the plane to North America in the summer. Very surprised. I think Thomas Tuchel would be an idiot not to take him. Phil Foden's just one of them players that can make something happen from nothing. There aren't many players out there who can do it. And, you know, for me, if Thomas Tuchel can find a way to get Foden playing in his strongest positions and in the strong areas that he's comfortable in and can get the very best out of Foden, then England have got a very good chance, in my opinion, at the World Cup. There's lots of good players that England have got. They've just got to find the right balance. I know there's some question marks over Phil Foden disrupting that balance, but if we can find a way to get the best out of him, then, you know, here we are. Connor, how far do I think we can go in the Champions League? I'd like to see us get to one of the rounds that ends in a final, so quarter-final onwards, the latter stages. It'd be great if we can now get the job done, finish in the top 8, get to the last 16, and get the all-important second leg at home at the Etihad Stadium. That'd be really good. And then we could just look at the draw and take it from there and assess what we're dealing with. It'd just be good for us to get to the last 8 and onwards and have a campaign where we get really excited about the Champions League, because it's just not been last season a great campaign. So I think the less said about last season, the better, to be honest. Very surprised surely Nico G can't be far away from being a regular with Spain, as James Trafford sends this one long for City. There's not much to report on here at the minute. Both sides are just trying to press and force a mistake from the other. No shots, no real dangerous areas. Brentford put a long throw in. City had dealt with. City don't look too comfortable. They look a bit disjointed, to be expected with the amount of changes that they've made, and players looking a bit rusty. Same with Brentford. They've made a lot of changes. A bit of a disjointed side. They're going to look a bit rusty. I'm not expecting this to be a classic, but I see no reason why both sides here can't have a good go at each other and look to score goals. I don't see why Brentford would want to park a bus. I don't expect them to park a bus, and I see no reason why Man City can't try and explore a bit and, you know, see if they can get their creative talents performing on a regular basis. So yeah, I'd say that's my summary so far. John, apologies, there's not too much happening for me to do the commentary. And some good talking points here in the chat, so keep it up, chat, much appreciated. Douglas, I'm hoping for the same. It'd be great to see Bobb and Savinho performing well. They do have a lot of potential. They're very young players. I mean, if you're a young player and you play for Man City and you get in minutes, you can't be a bad player. You cannot be a bad player. So they've all got bags of potential. It's just when they get given their opportunity, you've got to take it. There's Khusanov there, penalised for Man City in the Manchester rain. Rain just started to come down at the Etihad Stadium, so looking at a very wet, greasy surface. As I always say, it might just be worthwhile having a shot or two at the keeper. A greasy surface makes it very difficult to handle. It brings in things like spillages, it brings in rebounds and things, so we'll see. City gone with a very high line on this set piece, and there is Nico O'Reilly with his sensible footballing brain winning the header and getting that one clear for Manchester City. He does so again at the second time of asking. A chance here for Brentford to get an overlap in. They can't connect it up, disjointed as I said, and out for a throw into Manchester City. Sean says not only Manchester raining where he's located as well, I think in Norway. Yeah, it's just Manchester's famed with rain. It always seems to rain, so I call it the Manchester rain. I literally comment every time I go to Manchester. Sometimes I see blue skies. I'm like, at some point it's going to rain. And it always does. Michael, thanks for tuning in. Do hope you're well, my friend. What is your name? Thanks for tuning in as well. Khusanov went in quite aggressive about a minute ago on his challenge. Penalised and gave the free kick away. Big game for Khusanov. Dean going with a 2-1 Brentford win today. I'm going 3-1 City. I think with the changes that Brentford have made and the changes that City have made, I think we've got the quality. I think it's just trying to make that quality count. We could do with finding the all-important opening goal. And it'd be good for Savinho and Oscar Bobb to make things happen in attack, I think, today. I feel like Savinho's more likely to make something happen, and I feel like Oscar Bobb's more likely to score, in my opinion. Geffen going with I don't want pens. 1-1 and City take it on a penalty shootout. I hate penalty shootouts. Great when you're a neutral. When it's your team, they're awful. I hate them. Absolutely hate them. There you go. It's nice to see Yorkshire getting as much rain as what we get here in Lancashire then. It's just a UK, really. It's a UK problem. Loads of rain. I will comment, the sun never seems to come out every time I'm in Yorkshire and I cross the Pennines either. As Brentford looked like they were going to be in. Offside flag goes up though. So free kick for Man City. Yeah, I'm going to go 3-1 City today. I actually fancy Oscar Bobb and Savinho to score. I can see Brentford scoring a goal. Might not be till late on, so it might be one of the substitutes. I said in my preview, I could see someone like Lewis Potter coming on and scoring a goal. So I'm going to stick with what I said in the preview, and I can see maybe Man City making a change or two in the second half if they need to. Erling Haaland would be a good bet if he ends up getting on the pitch, making something happen. Trafford is going for them long balls. He's not connected any of them at the minute. He's not bad with his distribution though, Trafford. He just didn't like being pressed early in the season. Oh. Douglas says, I thought there was a right and wrong side of the Pennines. There is a right and wrong side of the Pennines, but it depends who I'm talking to. I'm from the right side in Lancashire, but if I'm speaking to someone from Yorkshire, I'm going to be telling them that I'm from the right side and they're from the wrong side. But if I go down to London, for example, and I'll speak to a southerner, as we call them down here, because they're from down south, then I'm going to be more prone to say, it don't really matter. I miss anyone that's got a northern accent, whether it be Lancashire or Yorkshire. I ain't fussed. It's like that Jason Manford sketch, isn't it? You get someone from Scotland who'll meet all the people who are from Lancashire, Yorkshire and London, and you go, well, we're all English, aren't we? So we'll back ourselves. And, we go into Europe and you're going to find somebody from, France or Italy or something, and you go, well, we're British. Go to America and you're like, oh yeah, we're European, so on and so forth. Lots of offsides in this at the minute. West Ham have been poor. Touch wood, we can get the job done at the weekend. I'm always a bit wary of bits of individual quality that West Ham have got. Obviously, Lucas Paquetá, we know his quality, as Savinho burst into the penalty area, squares one across, and no one's there. And you have to ask, why is nobody there? Oscar Bobb made one run, McArthur just held his run, and no one else was there. Here's Cherki, he's got a bit of space with a first shot for City, and he drags it wide. Rayan Cherki playing behind the striker in a more central role today for Manchester City. The debate of chips and gravy, what I heard, is not a thing in the south. It depends where you go. You'll pick up gravy down south if you go to the right places. Other places won't do gravy, and it's a bit weird that they don't do gravy. If we've got any Americans tuning in, I'm not on about your version of gravy that you have with what you call biscuits. I'm on about what we put on chips. Google fish chips and gravy, and you'll see what I'm on about. Looks like murky water, a bit thicker than murky water. But excellent on fish and chips, in my opinion. Or a good northern delicacy, get pudding, chips and gravy. That's food. Pudding, chips and gravy. Could be a normal pudding, could be a rag pudding. I ain't complaining either way. Good stuff. I saw somebody in America actually speaking about that, actually. They were not happy with puddings and how they looked. And as Argyle says in Stranger Things, try before you deny. French fries. See, French fries for me are crisps. A brand of crisps. Here's City with... Oh, that's a poor effort from Oscar Bobb. Gets into some good space on his left foot and he just drags his shot straight at the keeper. Anywhere, but at the keeper. It's a big opportunity that for Oscar Bobb. Got to do a bit better. It's a shot on target, and I said test the keeper, but he just drags it. The football nets are massive. He had a half a yard of space. Go across the keeper. He doesn't need to go to the keeper's near post. A bit disappointing, that. A bit disappointing. Right. Here's Brentford just knocking it round at the back. City trying to put the pressure on. Trying to make something happen. City have just started to open up here now. Nearly 15 minutes in. So don't forget, guys, we've got over 50 of you in the room. I'd appreciate if you did leave a thumbs up. We're nearly at 50 likes. Any help towards that would be great. Do subscribe. And also don't forget as well, check out my social media links in the description. And do get your thoughts in the live chat. Andy, I'm intrigued. Why are they called Baby's Head? I've not heard that one before. I presume is that down to the shape? That's a good ball down the field from Brentford, and Khusanov's going to get he's going to get booked for that. It's clumsy that from Abdukodir Khusanov. He's looked real rusty, hasn't he, Khusanov? You see, Brentford are asking the question. They want him. They're saying he's last man. They want him sending off. He's about 30 yards away from goal. Is the problem? Let's have a look. I mean, it's so rash from Abdukodir Khusanov. I think there's a couple of things here that I think is going to save Khusanov from a red card. I don't know if VAR's in play for today's game or not. I'm not sure. Yeah, there's a couple of things to think about there. Number one is Nathan Ake going to help get back. So it stops him from being the last man and denial of a goal-scoring opportunity. Shade's touch also takes him away from goal. So I can see why referees played it safe and given a yellow card rather than a red. I definitely think there'd be a case. Brentford have a case for a red card there. Definitely. I just don't think it is a red card. Because a steak pudding looks like a bold baby's head. Never in my life have I heard it being called that before. Never. They're like, trying to describe what the shape is of them. They're not like perfectly circular, so they're an odd shape. They're an odd shape. A pudding shape, which is, why they're referred to as pudding. Must have been a Wivenshaw saying. I've never heard of it before. It was like I mentioned before. I said rag pudding. I've never heard of that before. Up until I'd moved Manchester way and then heard it was a thing. I was like, what on earth's that? I tried it. Oh, it was revolutionary. I heard that was like an Oldham thing or something. Yeah. Anyway, Oscar Bobb was very unfortunately picked up an injury. That's not good with our little winger crisis that we've got. It's a big opportunity that for Oscar Bobb, 17 minutes in. Gets a start at last, showcase what he can do. He's picked up an injury and he's going to have to come off, so... Foden, he's got a rest. Only 18-minute rest, though. So, there we go. Free kick here in a pretty dangerous area. I don't know why it's called a rag pudding. It's just a normal pudding, but it's stretched. So, rather than it being a dead bizarre shape that goes upwards, it's more stretched out. Yeah. There must be some kind of, reason for it. Anyway. Michael, I get it, yeah. Football without VAR is good. I presume this is the reason we've not got VAR because they don't have VAR for the Cardiff game. against Chelsea yesterday, because Cardiff obviously in League One, they don't have VAR in League One. And to make it fair, you can't have some games with VAR and not others in the round. I think it's an old Premier League one. I imagine VAR will come back, so... Here we go. Free kick. For Brentford. This is a big moment. This is a good spot for a free kick to come in, and James Trafford makes a good save. Gets a good hand onto it and manages not only to keep it out of the net, palm it away. Looked like he was going to send it out for a throw-in, but I'm not sure who that was. It's done well for City to keep it in. And managed to get a deflection off a Brentford player. And out for a throw into City. There we go. Steamed in a rag. Julia all over it. Julia with the knowledge. Andy with the knowledge. JSGC with no knowledge at all. Other than, if you're ever up north and you find a rag pudding, get one with chips and gravy. Solid stuff. Odin, thanks for tuning in. What can Philip do then from the bench? City have sent Rayan Cherki up top, and Foden's gone to the right wing at the minute. Ruben Dias and Josko Gvardiol are both on the bench for City today, yeah. Here's Rico Lewis then to Rayan Cherki, to Tijjani Reijnders. I mean, Andy, I'm not young anymore. Oh, I wake up in the morning. You know, I have to make a noise when I get out of bed. Everything aches, backache, knees hurt. Found out from trying to lose some weight, actually, that it's not as easy to lose some weight either. It's harder to shift. Yeah. Here's Foden. Ball knocking around there. Here's Nico G. It's very wet out there. Players are slipping. Oh, young whipper. I wish I was a young whippersnapper. Jean, yeah. I heard there's some more championship interest in Naipan. It's just Middlesbrough doing very well, so I don't think they want to disrupt anything that's going on there. So Naipan's not getting minutes and starts that he'd be looking for. As somebody else pointed out, though, it'd do Naipan the world of good to experience a team having a very successful season, though. Middlesbrough look good for promotion. Excuse me. Savinho just had a shot. I'm not in the midlife crisis. Give it 10 years. Give it 10 years. And we'll be in the supercar or motorcycle phase. Oh, I get it. I get it about people's unhappiness with the utilising loans. It's difficult because you send a player to another club. They're not their player, and they know they're not their player. So if they've got an opportunity that they could give to their own player that they'd benefit more from, they'll give that opportunity to another player rather than somebody else's player. So, yeah. Now, I think that's a shame. Should be another offside here against Brentford. How many offsides have they done? Crazy the amount of offsides. Clearly looking for the breaking that offside trap. And we know VAR, we've got to be careful. There's no VAR to bail us out on a high line if an offside is not given. And that's obviously the downside of not having VAR. It would be nice, though, if you score, that you don't have to worry about if the goal's going to get disallowed or not. So, yeah. It would be good to have another protege at City. How would that pronounce? Prodigy? I don't know. Anyway, what I do know is Man City are coming forward here. Here's Rayan Cherki. Overlap coming in from Tijjani Reijnders. He doesn't use him. He goes for it himself, and keeper has to make a good save. Girona are struggling, so sending players on loan right now to struggling teams works well. Stings the hands of the keeper there. Corner for City. Work it across. Only as far as Cherki. Who's been the better team? That's a good question. I'd probably say City have looked the better team for the first 24 minutes. We're starting to have shots and we're starting to make things happen. I think City are just starting to wake up a bit now. Rayan Cherki's making things happen, which is good. So, guys, we've hit 50 likes. No reason to be aiming for 100 likes. We're halfway there. Any help towards that would be great. Do subscribe as well. That would be much appreciated. Yeah, it's the downside of the market on loan. As I said, in January, if I'm City, I'd be contemplating sending players on loan to clubs that are struggling because they're more inclined to give an opportunity to your player. As Cherki goes down, it's a corner, not a penalty. I also think you have a better advantage of, rather than loaning, easier to sell with buybacks. It's like Rico Lewis, Nottingham Forest putting in that £30 million offer, and I know Rico Lewis didn't want to leave, but if our Man City had said, look, Rico, you're not going to get that many minutes, we're going to accept this £30 million offer, we're going to put a £45-50 million buyback clause in, give it 2-3 seasons and see how you get on. Corner taken, gets as far as Reijnders, gets a good connection, and it goes over the top of the crossbar, and it remains 0-0 here at the Etihad Stadium. It's Man City 0, Brentford 0. James McAtee's been struggling with Nottingham Forest. I've not kept too much of an eye on Nottingham Forest, to be fair. Lil, thanks for tuning in. Much appreciated. Don't worry about it. You don't need to apologise. I'm good, thank you, my friend. How are you? Will we have any potential update on Oscar Bobb? I imagine maybe after the game we might get a small update. Perhaps. Tends to be the next press conference, so more likely we'll get an update on Friday for Man City's press conference against West Ham. Get more of an update. Here's Brentford then, just looking to try and come forward. Very open game. City are getting quite a lot of space. They've just not found a way to utilise that space too much at the minute. It's always dangerous that you're always looking to try and score the opening goal, and if you don't score the opening goal, you're struggling. And what I don't want to do is Brentford take the lead and they've got something to defend. I'm more than happy for this to be an open game and see where we go from there. No buyback clause with Cole Palmer. I think Man City at the time regarded £40 million as a good enough fee for us to accept without a buyback. I don't think that Chelsea would have made a move if there was a buyback included in it. So, preparing for a collage. I haven't got a chance to watch any. Oh, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Hope your collage creating has gone well as Tijjani Reijnders bursts forward here for City. Got a bit of space here on an overlap coming in from Macarthur. Macarthur's got nowhere to go. Gives the ball to Rayan Cherki. He can't find his pass. On as far as Rico Lewis. Here's Macarthur now. He might have a shot. Does. It's blocked. Nice to see City having some shots trying to score. I think players are just desperate to score, aren't they? To say, yeah, I've got a goal, I should be starting the next game. So, very unlike Man City, the players have been very, not selfish. I don't think selfish is the word. But maybe a bit greedy. They want to be the player that scores the goal. They want to be the player starting against West Ham with Doku out, is what's going on. Oh, I thought you meant like an art collage. Sorry. Here's Brentford coming forward. Into the box. There's a good challenge there from Rico Lewis, and City will keep that one in. A good tackle. Real good tackle there from Manchester City. Here's Cherki. Should be able to find Foden in a bit of space. Geordie, welcome. Hope college is going well. University over here. Uni, people will call it. Oh, man. Anyway, back on with the game. Nearly through half an hour. Nearly a third of the game, guys. 0-0. Not much happening, to be honest. City just getting into a good range, and they're having shots to try and score. They've done a good job on limiting Brentford to not much. There's been a couple of needed fouls. Could easily have seen a potential red card for Abdukodir Khusanov in doing so. Trafford's been forced into making one good save. It's been a very open game, which has been refreshing to see. I don't know what it is about the vibe of the game, but it feels very different to like a normal Man City game in the Champions League or the Premier League, for example. I don't know if it's just like, you know, if Man City lose today, you know, we'll talk about it, but I don't think anyone would lose any sleep about it. I certainly don't think there'd be an overreaction, whereas a Premier League game, if we'll lose against West Ham at the weekend, there'd be a huge overreaction. Whereas this game, I don't think there would. And I just, yeah. I don't know what it is. I thought by now they'd have found a way to spruce up the League Cup a bit more to get more interest. I mean, I'm not sure Man City would be too happy at seeing the amount of empty seats that's knocking around, but, you know, we're looking at a game right before Christmas, midweek. In the League Cup, where, you know, I'm sure there'll be quite a few season ticket holders that probably won't be there today. Yeah, I don't know what it is. It just feels a bit, I don't know, different. As Savinho goes and drives and Brentford do well and get a head onto it and out for a corner. You see, John, you're not going to be the only one that has that opinion of it's a waste of time. You're not bothered. You'll watch it because Man City are playing, but if Man City go out, you're not going to lose any sleep. You're not bothered about it. So, yeah. Corner then for Man City. McArthur's gone over to take. Whipped one in. Keeper gets a good strong hand onto it. Cherki has a shot now! What an effort from Rayan Cherki! A sensational finish into the top corner. The all-important opening goal. And it's Rayan Cherki with a robot celebration, giving Manchester City the lead here at the Etihad Stadium. Cracker of a finish that from Cherki. Cracker of a hit. Whoo! Get that out of the net. Pick that one out. And he's doing a Haaland celebration. A robot on a Haaland celebration. And he's pointing to Haaland. That's amazing. That's amazing. I know that Cherki and Haaland have become real good friends. I do know that, and it is good to see the different relationships that build in the team. I know Donnarumma has also become really good friends with Haaland, and I could probably see a little, a little triangle of friendship going on there. Cherki, Donnarumma, and Erling Haaland. It takes a little deflection off one of the defenders, heads into the back of the net. We don't care. Boomf! Back of the net. 1-0 Manchester City lead. It's a cracker of a finish. Cracker of a finish from Rayan Cherki and Manchester City. As I said, all-important opening goal. What we need to do now is keep building on that. Keep pushing and keep going. Rayan Cherki showing the benefits of, you put one good performance in, you get some regular starts, and if you make things happen on them starts, you become an important first-team player. Absolutely, Hugo Viana's got that one right. And it was worth the risk. £30 million. You're talking a quarter of the price of what Liverpool have paid for Florian Wirtz. It might not have worked for Cherki, but for £30 million, you've got to take the risk. And you take the risk because you could do things like that. Brilliant hit. Brilliant hit. Erling Haaland smiling. Oh, man. It was Chicky that brought him. Jeremy Doku. Another replay. It's a great hit from Cherki. I thought Cherki were going to put his foot through it first. Time of asking, and he just composes himself and just weathers that one. John, sorry, thank you. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you tuning in. Do hope you're well. Ricardo, thank you for tuning in as well. There's a little bromance going on there, isn't there, John? A little bromance. Helps improve the morale of the team. That's what we like to see. Kawami, thanks for tuning in. Todd, thanks for tuning in. Damsgaard just had an injury, ready to come back on. He's not looked amazing for Brentford. I thought Damsgaard, when they brought him in, was a sensational signing. I was expecting Damsgaard to be a real big hit at Brentford. I thought it was a real good signing, and it's not really worked all that much for him. Prakash, thanks for tuning in. Do hope you're well as well. Stranger Danger, that's a great username. Thanks for tuning in. Right, here comes City then. On the attack again, O'Reilly with the ball in. Looking for, is that Tijjani Reijnders at the back post? Damsgaard allowed back onto the pitch. I think that's the silliest of rules. That injury rule, and you got to wait 30 seconds to come on. Needs binning off. Can't remember which game I was watching at the weekend. There was a case where, was it? I think it was a Man United Bournemouth game right at the end. I think there was a Bournemouth player that went off injured, ready to come back onto the field, but he has to wait 30 seconds. And in them 30 seconds, Bournemouth had been dispossessed, and United were coming forward, and they were down to 10 men momentarily, and Bournemouth could easily got punished for it. United are terrible, so they didn't get punished for it, but they could have. And it is going to happen, and I don't think anything's going to happen about that rule until it does happen. I just hope it's not going to be us. So, yeah, well, apologies for the bad language. That lot down the road, should we say that? Oh, man. Ian, thank you for tuning in. 6 a.m. in Australia, an early one. Can't be too long off the day 2 of the Ashes. I heard there was some controversy with the Snicko. Player not given out. I've appealed it. And Snicko's not done its job. Yeah. What's that all about? Kerry went on to make a century from it. Albeit it wasn't his, I think he was on 72 at the time, but here we are. But he's still, I think he was out for 106. Had another 34 runs. Do I think we need Semenyo? I think we need options out wide. And I do think it's worthwhile having a look at Oscar Bobb in January, because obviously he's going to want to go to the World Cup with Norway. And I do feel like there's surely some Premier League teams towards the bottom that would be sniffing around Oscar Bobb that might be able to give him some more regular minutes than what we can offer him. I heard Crystal Palace were interested, but I'd be surprised if the likes of even Sunderland, who are doing very well, as that's a great ball. Foden's got that under control. Brentford have done a good job in forcing him back. Nico G thought about hitting it but didn't. Oh man. Yeah. Facts. Thanks for tuning in. Cherki, the cheat code on FC26. So good. I like to hear that. Jean, sorry, I had seen your thing, says, every time I watch a live stream, it pauses for a couple of seconds and it plays again, and I need to catch up. Oh. I'm not happened for me. I don't know if it's happened for anybody else. Norway manager been criticising Oscar Bobb as well. You see, they need to be playing on a regular basis. Same with Nathan Ake. Nathan Ake probably knows deep down that he might not be going to the World Cup with the Netherlands unless he's playing on a regular basis. So he needs to go somewhere where they're real desperate for a centre back and he's going to get played. And it's more likely in the January winter window to find a loan than you are a permanent transfer. And I think Nathan Ake would be a great signing for a lot of Premier League teams. I could even see the likes of like Aston Villa and probably even. I mean, he's getting on now, isn't he, Nathan Ake? So, but Aston Villa, I think it'd be a good move for him. Crystal Palace. Good Premier League teams. Newcastle even. Lots of people getting very wet at the Etihad. James Trafford sends this one long for City as we're around 5 minutes away from half time. Do you know, everyone keeps speaking about Guehi and Semenyo. I think one player that gets slept on a lot, and it won't happen in January, but a player that I'd love for us to bring in. Guy we're playing against at the weekend, I thought he was tremendous. Adam Wharton. Keep speaking about Man City's midfield being weak and it needs more physicality. A homegrown player surely makes a lot of sense. I think it'd be a cracking signing. Surely him or Elliot Anderson will be brought in by City in the summer, you'd think. I fancy City are going to need a signing or two. I can see City doing a bit of business in January. Hugo Viana doesn't remind me of the kind of director of football that's going to sleep on Man City needing to do a bit of business. As Khusanov nearly got that one wrong. And Rico Lewis is there to mop it up, takes no chances, says Brentford can have a corner. We'll come back to this. We do need more squad depth, though. What is your name? I think you're right there. Better squad depth, anyway. Guimaraes ain't going to... He's not going to leave Newcastle. And I think a little back and forth that we had when we played Newcastle a few weeks ago and Pep Guardiola are having a bit of a pop at Guimaraes and everything just kind of confirmed that, yeah, I think that ship has sailed. I'd hate to see Ake leave as well. He's a good squad option, but if he wants to leave, there's not much you can do. As corner comes in for Brentford, headed clear by City. Another chance here for Brentford to put something into the box. So more defending for City to do, as we're now 37 likes, guys, away from 100. Any help towards that would be great, and do subscribe. Dennis, thanks for tuning in. Much appreciated. Just make sure I'm not missing anybody. If I have missed anybody, I do apologise. Just pop up again in the chat. I'll say hello. Do appreciate all you guys tuning in. It is much appreciated. Another chance here for Brentford to put something into the box. Header doesn't go anywhere. Goes to Nico O'Reilly, who's worked himself to the right-hand side of the pitch. City will get that one cleared. Rico Lewis just tells Nico O'Reilly, stay there. I've got the left-hand side covered for now. Nico O'Reilly keeps asking the question to Rico Lewis. The City lead here by a 1-0. I'll tell you what, Brentford's knocked the ball around. They've not parked the bus. It's been an open game. Celtic 1-0 up. Who's Celtic got? I haven't had a look at what's happening up in Scotland today. Brentford just knocking this round at the back. Maybe a little coast towards half time. Dundee away. There we go. Dundee away. Celtic lead then. Moaka, thanks for tuning in. Well, Brentford's got to go for this, so they are going to have to press and try and force the mistake. There's gaps everywhere if City want to exploit it. I do think City have looked a bit sharper since Foden came on. Probably to be expected, as Khusanov nearly makes another error there. He's looking very error-prone at the minute, Kadir Khusanov. Very error-prone. He looks very shaky. We could do without him being shaky. Because I don't think Pep Guardiola is going to be thinking, oh yeah, I'm going to give him some starts now after looking shaky. He's got to look composed. He's got to give some headaches to Pep Guardiola to say, I'm the option. Get me in that team. Another chance here for Brentford to put something into the City box then. Before we hit into added time. What do you reckon? There's an injury, weren't there, to Bobb. Damsgaard went down. There's been a goal, maybe 2 or 3 minutes added on. Scottish League Cup winners St Mirren. Shout out from Andy there. As it is 3 minutes added on them. So 3 minutes left of this half. City lead by a goal to nil and a chance here for City just to come forward. As we're now 34 likes away from 100. Don't forget to subscribe. Here is Macassar on the right-hand side. Gives the ball to Cherki. Here's Foden. Cherki back to Foden. It just goes to show that, you know, you sprinkle in a couple more first-team players and the squad rotation probably wouldn't look so bad. And I've always wondered why Pep keeps going with the full rotation and then playing near enough the same 11 for 4 or 5 consecutive games, then another full rotation. Why would you not just do 2 or 3 changes here, 2 or 3 changes there? Keeps the squad rotated options nice and sharp and it gives them more minutes. I certainly think that should be the case for, obviously he's not here right now, but Omar Marmoush and Rayan Ait-Nouri, Nathan Ake, Kadir Khusanov, Savinho, could all be good options for City. Here's Cherki. He's making things happen as well. Feels like he was getting wrestled there. Referee says play on. City trying to force the mistake, I think. Oh, I thought I was being a throw-in for City, but linesman says no. Jensen to take then. So through the first 90 seconds to go to half-time. Todd, yeah, to be fair, he was doing perfectly fine at RC Lawns. Surprised Man City didn't take the opportunity to keep Kadir Khusanov there. He was very young and still learning. But obviously his pace and we needed more options at the back, so he was a useful option. I mean, it might be an option for next season, to be fair, for him to be loaned out. Obviously, we've got Vita Hayes coming back, looking very composed with Girona. Certainly should be given pre-season with Man City. And I can see Vita Hayes, actually, with so many players going to the World Cup. There'll be a tight turnaround from the end of the World Cup to the start of next season that players that don't go to the World Cup will be very handy. And I don't think Vita Hayes will be off to the World Cup with Brazil. So Vita Hayes could be in line with an impressive pre-season to actually get the starting minutes at the start of next season. Good defending that from Kadir Khusanov. Much better defending. Gets a high five there from Nathan Ake and some appreciation from James Trafford as well. Much better that from Kadir Khusanov. Got to take encouragement from that. Right. Probably be James Trafford whacking this upfield and that'll be the end of this first half. It has been all or nothing from Pep and his rotation, and I think it's just not helped in terms of the rustiness of the players. As I said, I'm looking at the likes of Savinho, I'm looking at Ake, I'm looking at Khusanov, you know, look at these players and you don't want them to be rusty. We need them. We need these players. Right, there is the half-time whistle. Manchester City lead here by a goal to nil. I don't know if you guys, if you're watching in the UK, Newcastle-Fulham game has only just started. So if you're bored at half-time, you can always put that game on for 15 minutes before we have kick-off here for the second half. Just having a look at the statistics for this game. Manchester City I presume are going to have more possession, but I don't think it's going to be as far away as I think. Sorry, I just chucked my phone down so it's not distracting me. Let's have a look then. So, statistics then. City, yeah, having more possession, 58% possession, compared with 42% possession for Brentford. City with more shots, 7 shots, 3 on target, 1 goal. Okay. 1 shot for Brentford, 1 on target, no goals for them. City nearly 300 passes at 293. 214 passes for Brentford. Nothing clear-cut created by either side. It's just City that have been having shots on the edge of the area, and, you know, they've made things happen from these shots at the edge of the area. We're finding the opening goal, and it's important for Brentford that they've now got to come out and make things happen. Bit unfortunate with Oscar Bobb's injury. Hopefully not too bad, and he'll be back sooner rather than later. A cracking finish for Rayan Ait-Nouri. Do keep an eye on Abdukodir Khusanov on a yellow card for Manchester City. If we wanted to make some changes, you want to go down the youngster route if things are going well for City in the second half, then Funny and Charlie Gray could be options for Man City. If you're looking towards more senior first team players, if you're looking for goals, then obviously Erling Haaland on the bench. Options in midfield, Bernardo Silva, Matheus Nunes can both play in midfield. Nunes obviously an option for City on the right hand side of defence. You've also got Josko Gvardiol and Ruben Dias, and if James Trafford needs to go off, you do have Gianluigi Donnarumma on the bench for Manchester City. I'm just looking towards Brentford because they do need to score and they do need to make things happen. I think it's a big blow for them not having Igor Thiago on the bench. I don't know why he's not on the bench. I don't know if they're just choosing to give him a full rest, but if I was a Brentford fan, I think I'd be very disappointed with that. If he is fit and it can feature in this game, because they've got nothing to lose in going for this game. Nothing to lose at all, and yet, you know, they've rotated the best player not in the squad today. I think that's a blow, a real blow. Looking towards other players that could potentially grab goals. I mean, looking at Keane, Lewis, Potter could be an option that could come on in the second half of Brentford, and just something that City need to keep an eye on. Other game then taking place at St James's Park is 0-0 between Newcastle and Fulham. There is a game taking place in Scotland. Celtic are 1-0 up. I have a mate actually that's a fan of Dundee United. So it's Dundee United that are playing against Celtic. There is another team in Dundee called Dundee. They're a completely different team to Dundee United. If my mate were tuning in right now and saw Dundee United being referred to as Dundee before, we'd have had a big problem with that. Oh man, you got some Women's Champions League games taking place. If there's any big shocking scorelines in there, doesn't look like it. To be fair, they are only 20 minutes in. Women's Super League 2 game taking place. Entertaining game actually in the 64th minute. Bristol City women's side 2, Crystal Palace women's side 2. Not much happening, to be fair. Let's have a look at the darts. You've got the World Championships taking place. Surveyor from America's just knocked Campbell of Canada out. Got Raymond van Barneveld taking place very soon in his match against Belmont from Switzerland. James Wade in action against Azumoto from Japan. And you got Schindler from Germany taking on Burton from England as well. There we go. Right, there you go. You guys are up to date. Half-time thoughts. Do let me know in the chat. That would be much appreciated. Douglas asking a question. Do I reckon Nunes can learn the 6 role? I mean, he's quick. If you want a quick player playing in midfield, then maybe. He's got the physicality of it. I just think there might be better options. I feel like better options had come from centre-backs. We've done it before with Manu Akanji. I wonder if he was fit, they'd try it with John Stones again. I think another good option would be Nathan Ake. It's just we've not really been utilising Nathan Ake in that way whilst he's been at City. So Ake normally just does centre back or left back rather than into defensive midfield. And I'm not sure if it was when he was at Bournemouth or when he was at Chelsea as a youngster. I'm fairly sure he's featured a few times as a defensive midfielder before Nathan Ake. And I just don't, City aren't sitting comfortable enough in this game for Pep to start experimenting. And because pre-season was so short because of the Club World Cup, we've not really seen much experimentation from Pep. And I just don't think he's all that happy with the squad that he wants to do anything about it. I think he's just happy just to keep the status quo in the hope that really something will click. So yeah, I can see why Manchester would get under your skin when talking about United and City and saying, there's another team in in Manchester when, you know, it must be very frustrating, you know, in Madrid, in Milan as well, with other cities that have got 2 big teams in them. Some of them have even more. Look at London, several big teams down in London. Yeah, they're my thoughts anyway. As I said, don't forget, leave a thumbs up. Aiming for 100 likes, just 28 likes away. Any help towards that'd be great. And do subscribe. So, I've got some half-time entertainment for you guys to enjoy. It's brought to you by my partner channel Mixed. Links and details, they are in the description. I'm going to be at the Etihad for Man City's game against West Ham on Saturday, so there won't be any live watch-along, and it does mean, if you do the maths, that this will be my last live watch-along before Christmas. So, last chance for me to promote Mixed's Christmas series that he does over on his channel, so do go and check him out. Links and details there in the description, and this is the Naughty or Nice Cocktail. I'll see you in 5 minutes.
What's going on, guys? Mixed here, back again for another Christmas video. Yes, that is right. It is December time. I say the bar's nicely decorated. It can only mean one thing. It is Christmas time. I say throughout December, what we'll be doing is Christmas cocktails. So we're going to be starting off with a naughty or nice. But which one are you? Are you naughty or are you nice? And will Santa bring presents for you? But for today's present, guys, it is the naughty nice cocktail. So let's get straight into it. So what we're going to do is get our ice and pour it straight into a rocks glass. So with this cocktail, what you can do, you can either do it 2 ways. So you can make it for a single, or you can make it for 2 people. But what we're going to do today, I'm going to make it for a single person. So normally what you do is, you make a large punch bowl with this, but what I'm going to do is just put it straight into rocks glass and give it a stir, so I'm going to do it that way. So this is a nutty nice. So the first ingredient, my friends, is a 1.5 ounce, which is 45 ml of Chardonnay. Next is 45 ml or 1.5 ounce of Pinot Noir. Next is 30 ml or 1 ounce of maraschino liqueur. Which is 30 ml. Last but not least is 60 ml or 2 ounces of ginger ale. So okay, boss people, what we're going to do now is to give it a good stir. The last thing to do now is garnish it with an orange slice. And there we go. As simple as that. I was going to say that is a naughty nice cocktail. There we go, my friends. One naughty nice cocktail. How does it taste? Tastes like Christmas. So if you love your wines, you'll love this cocktail, because especially with the Chardonnay and the red wine, the Pinot Noir mixing into it, especially with the maraschino as well. So you get the cherry flavoured kicking in, and then you get the ginger ale. So, but it's nicely balanced. One thing I will say for it. But I do wonder with this one whether it'd be nicer with cherries with it, or cranberries. That might be a nicer garnish to make it more Christmassy. But that is no discredit to this cocktail. It's certainly naughty or nice, but which one is it? That is up to you to decide. For me, it's a little bit naughty. if I give it a solid rating, I'd probably give it a nice solid 7 out of 10. Because I like red wines, because I like Chardonnay as well, so it's a nice balance. Because it's not too harsh with the flavours. But it's nice to be back behind the bars, because it's been a while since we've been behind the bar as well. But I will be more consistent with the uploads, as I will be doing more Christmas cocktails throughout December. So if you do have any suggestion, guys, or ladies, do let me know in the comments below which Christmas cocktails or Xmas ones do you want to see on this channel, as I will be happy to oblige and happy to make. But this, my friends, is a nutty nice cocktail, and I will see you guys for the next Christmas cocktail. And one more thing to mention before I do go is, if you are new around here, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe to Mixif for more Christmas cocktails like this, and I will see you guys in the next one. Have a nice day, and cheers. Stepping into Christmas, don't you love it?
And a big thank you to Mixid for providing today's halftime entertainment for you guys. Connor says Newcastle 1-0 up. Let's have a look at who scored that game. Douglas, thank you very much. Hoping it'll be a good game, actually, between City and West Ham. Obviously, the most important thing is picking up the 3 points. But should be a good do, nonetheless. Ebook, thanks for tuning in. You can tell McArthur's not really got too much experience playing at such a high level. I'm not saying he's looked out of place. He just looks like he's adapting, as Fulham have found an equaliser. So it was Visser with a goal after 10 minutes for the reigning champions Newcastle, but Fulham have found an equaliser near enough instantly. 6 minutes later, Lukic with the goal. So entertaining game there. 1-1 between Newcastle and Fulham. We'll see who does end up going through. Of course, Man City still got some work to do here. Second half against Brentford. We're leading by 1-0. Question is, can we double that lead? I suspect Brentford, they were 2-0 down, probably start thinking about taking some of their regular first team players off. And rotating a little bit more. They got a big game against Wolves this weekend. Just not too sure. Wolves are that poor that why Brentford have chosen to rotate here. I don't get it. I do not get it. Kulek, thanks for tuning in. I can see Pep taking Rayan Cherki off, unfortunately, at some point. I feel like we get to a point where Rayan Cherki is an important first-team player. And because he's an important first-team player, you want your important first-team players available on a regular basis. So I could see Cherki doing 60, 65 minutes and potentially coming off. It's a shame we've not really got many other options on the left-hand side with Nico O'Reilly, because this has been a game that would have been ideal for Rayan Ait-Nouri, and not really got many players that can rotate with Nico G either, because I think to myself that, again, today would be a good chance for them to just get a bit of a rest. Obviously, Josko Gvardiol could potentially exchange with Nico O'Reilly, but Nico Gonzalez, I'm not sure. Right, Brentford make their way back out for the second half. Waiting for Manchester City to make their way out as well. Espio, thanks for tuning in. It's rustiness from Khusanov. The thing is, you know, Pep probably does want to rotate his team. He wants these players who are given their opportunity today to come in and, you know, prove their point. We can't afford for players just to come in and struggle to get up to pace with the game. I know it's difficult, but you just can't afford to make it happen. And, you know, I was impressed with Foden when he came on. The combinations between him and Rayan Cherki, who were pretty much first-team regulars for Man City, they've combined well and done well. Everything else for Man City, I think, could be improved here in the second half. And I'm going to include, you know, Savinho, Tijjani Reijnders, Mikasa. You know, I want to see more from them. Right, City are going to get us underway here. Attacking from right to left. Attacking the north stand here in the second half. City playing in their sky blue shirts, white shorts and sky blue socks, with Brentford playing in their home shirts, red and white striped shirts, black shorts, black socks, and surprise, surprise, already a offside for Brentford. Had a lot of offsides in this. Dave says, Reijnders, a waste of money. He's a good player. I think he's a good player. It's just going to take a bit of time for him to adapt. I think there's a good player there with Tijjani Reijnders. Here is Tijjani Reijnders now moving it to the right-hand side. Here's Rico Lewis. A chance here for City. If it opens up nicely. Foden can't find his pass. May get a second opportunity at it. Good defending from Brentford just to force Foden wide. Here's O'Reilly, forced backwards. Here's Ake. Khusanov wants to get forward. Rico Lewis. To Mikasa. Here's Khusanov. City get muddled up there. And they're dispossessed. Good interception though from Nico G. Just steps in his path. It's like Gandalf. He just goes, you shall not pass. Here is Mikasa. Savinho goes in. He goes down. City want a penalty. Referee says, no, you're not having a penalty. Brentford can have a goal kick instead. I do remember Rodri being called Ploddery for the first season. Took him a little bit of time. Players need time. I don't think there was too much in that. There was a push on Savinho. I don't think Savinho's helped his case that it's a heavy touch that's taken out for a goal kick. Keeps that ball close to his feet and keeps it in play. And he gets a push. I think he might have had a case for a penalty. The heavy touch goes against Savinho. Gets contact in the back. He goes down. The referee says, not a penalty. The thing I don't like is like outside the area. That's a free kick. And a penalty, they're not going to give a potential game-changing moment for a push like that. Here's Savinho. Lovely feet from Savinho. Oh, he does ever so well. He finds his pass. Cherki just couldn't get hold of it. Does well there, Savinho. A little burst of acceleration. Good skills. You see, this is my problem I have with Savinho now. Is he's been dispossessed. And he's just walking back. I want to see Savinho getting back, tracking back, making things happen. It's that attitude that I think stops him from getting regular starts and these little bursts of 10-minute cameos. You know, he's probably going to get a full 90 minutes here. If he doesn't do anything in them 90 minutes, and you know, all of a sudden them two cameos have meant nothing because he's not taking his opportunity when he's got a start. That if he does well, he's going to start again. I don't know. I want to see a bit more from Man City, a little bit more from the players that are on the field at the minute. Here's Cherki to Foden. Here's O'Reilly. He has a shot straight at the keeper. Comfortable save. Again, City just going with these long-range efforts, aren't they? Easy save. Fair shout out to them Brentford fans that have travelled to Manchester midweek, a week before Christmas. Looks like they nearly packed out the lower tier. I don't know if they've taken anyone in second tier or third tier. But I respect that from Brentford and the travelling fans. Another long ball comes in from Brentford, dealt with by Ake, reads it well. Foden knocks the ball onto Nico G. Here's Makasa. He's got the overlap coming in from Cherki. There's two in the box. Reijnders one of them. Cherki just goes with the outside of his foot. He apologises to Savinho and Reijnders in his ball just been way too close to the keeper. And an easy interception for Brentford. Right, guys, we're into the 51st minute now. We're 22 likes away from 100. Any help towards that would be much appreciated. Do subscribe as well if you are new around here. Is Brentford coming forward. Another ball sent forward by Brentford. Again, too much on that. That will go out of play for a goal kick. I'm not sure if the offside flag's gone up against Coyote. As we're now just 20 likes away from 100. We're making some good progress, guys. Right, goal kick then. Not a free kick, so it wasn't offside. Ake's going to take. Here's Trafford. Ake just passed it to Trafford, by the way. Sent long by Trafford, looking for Reijnders. Falls lucky for City, and Savinho's going to be brought down. That's going to be a free kick. Savinho not happy about it. A bit of a reaction, a bit of a coming together. Free kick, nothing more, referee says. Up you get on with it. Dave says kids are at the co-op tonight. So I didn't know it could be used on match day. It can, yeah. I wonder if that's the reason why Collins and Savinho that came together. I wonder if that explains the 7:30 start, just to segregate the times. Co-op events normally start around 8:30 and will end for around 10:30. If they've got warm-up acts on, then they'll start filtering people in for around 7:30, which on a midweek game is normally around the same time as the Etihad. So it's just going to be extra busy, so they tell people to be, bear that in mind. I think if I were going to an event on the same day as a match was happening, I think I'd just try and time it so the match has just started, so travelling to the arena is a bit quieter. And then, obviously, shot comes in from Brentford, a good save from Trafford. I think it was Collins with the effort. Obviously, when it comes to finishing, this game will be finished at around 9:30, and events won't finish till about 10:30. So, most of the football traffic and most of the football foot traffic and car traffic will have disappeared inside that hour. I just realised Jordan Henderson's, I don't think, on the bench either for Brentford. I don't get it. I do not get it. Corner then for Brentford. Oh, sorry, now throw in. Long throw. Sent in long. Doesn't even get to the near post. It has to bounce, and the bounce nearly caused some problems. Second time of asking for Brentford, and effort comes in. It's low. Trafford gets his body underneath it and makes a comfortable save. They do Trafford's confidence the world of good, that. Is Savinho coming forward, nearly dispossessed. Finds his pass well to Foden. He's got options ahead of him. Makasa, one of them. He goes to Cherki. It's a good pass from Makasa to Cherki. And he just can't connect up with Rico Lewis. Seamus says 1-1 then. Newcastle-Fulham. That's after around half an hour. Remember, the semi-final draw, that's going to be taking place after that game between Newcastle and Fulham today. Or tonight, should I say. I don't know if the semi-finals are one leg or two. There used to be two, and I'm fairly sure, from what I remember last season, it was one to ease fixture congestion. So I don't know if it's one leg or two this season for the semi-final. I've not done my research. Poor from JSGC, should have the answers. Connor says, we're ball number 2. There we go. Ball number 2. Brentford then trying to go for this. Through 10 minutes here of the second half. 35 minutes to go. They know time's going to start running out fairly soon for them. So they need to have a pop. Restless, thanks for tuning in. Much appreciated. Abdukodir, thank you for tuning in as well. Presume tuning in from Uzbekistan is what the UZB stands for there. Thanks for tuning in. Here's a pass comes forward and a bit of defending for Abdukodir Khusanov to do, and does very well there. Tracks back, and that's where Khusanov's really at his best. It can be physical, it can be in foot races, the shoulder to shoulders. Good defending there from Khusanov. He looked a bit shaky first half. Later in the second half, he made a good interception. I think he's taken some confidence from that. And it's like the majority of these rotated players that we've got at City. Just need some game time. You give them 3-4 games in a row and they start showing the quality again. They're just a bit rusty, which is where I'm hoping we're going to start seeing Man City from this weekend onwards start doing a little bit more rotation. You know, we've got injuries to Kovacic, to Rodri, to John Stones, Doku, Ait-Nouri's at AFCON, Marmoush is at AFCON. The squad's now, it's not depleted, but it's getting there. We need our options. We need rotation. 2-3 changes every game whilst we're playing every 2 or 3 days. Ease the pressure on the players. These players that are looking rusty, make sure they're looking sharp, not rusty. Get them some minutes. As I said, we've got a big game here. It's important that these City players start to showcase their quality because they could be in line to maybe be starting against West Ham at the weekend. It's a good leave here by Brentford and a chance for something to go into the box. Eventually it does. It's not a bad ball in. It's a well-directed header from Abdukodir Khusanov now. Seems to be winning everything at the back for Manchester City. He looks more assured and much more comfortable this second half than what I've seen in this game. Do I think we can win all them games? I mean, it's not going to be easy. I tend to just take things a game at a time. I look at West Ham at home and I think, got to be winning that. After that, some difficult, tricky away games. You know, Forest, Sunderland. Not easy places to go to with little rest. You know, heading towards the peaks of winter. Not easy at all. Two sides that are very physical, know how to defend. Not easy. Tyler, thanks for tuning in. Are you on about for this game? I don't think Haaland will get any minutes unless we need him to. I don't think City will want to send on any substitutions, to be honest. Obviously, Bobb had to go off injured, so Foden had to come on. Everybody else, I don't think City will be overly that keen. Restless, yeah, I agree with that. A slow start from Khusanov, but he's got going. Rustiness is disappearing. He's looking sharp and looking good. Sunderland won't be easy either. Mark, thanks for tuning in. Do you know, I'll sit on the fence with my answer. I still think it's too early to tell. I can make a better assumption after 19 games and we're halfway through the season. To be honest, you don't really get a good idea about the title picture until probably March time, the March international break. You get a better idea. Sunderland away won't be easy. They are missing a fair few players for AFCON. We're missing a couple. They're missing a few. I don't think that'll disrupt Sunderland too much, though. They've made themselves very difficult to beat. Very difficult to beat. I'd like to see Foden score. We'll see. Right, we hit the hour mark. City are 1-0 up. Still got some work to do. Still got some work to do. We're 2/3 of our way through this game. We're 30 minutes away from the semi-final. I think it's one leg, you know. Let me Google it. Is semi-final of EFL Cup one leg or two legs? Well, there you go. 2 legs again. We're back to 2 legs. So it doesn't really matter if we're drawn home or away first. Andy Man, thanks for tuning in. Do hope you're well, my friend. What's the weather looking like in Chicago? So it was very cold the other day for that NFL game. The Chicago Bears looking very good for making a potential playoff spot. Got some difficult games to end this season, but they're looking good right now. And Jean, I'm not comfortable. To be honest, I'm not. If we could score a second, I won't be comfortable. I know what Man City are like with surrendering leads and conceding silly goals. So, oh, hey, how much warmer? 35 degrees Fahrenheit. What's that in Celsius? 35 degrees Fahrenheit in Celsius. Much warmer. That's nearly 2 degrees Celsius. It's not even freezing. What is that? Is that like a mild winter day then in Chicago? 2 degrees. It's been roughly about our overnight temperatures. Yeah, a mild day in Chicago. There you go. Right. Chance then for Brentford to do something from this free kick just inside the City half. Chicago does get very cold in the winter. I was there in September and it was very nice, very pleasant, like 24 to 27 degrees Celsius, about 75 to 80 degrees Fahrenheit. A little bit of wind blowing in off Lake Michigan. It's definitely shorts and t-shirt weather for me. It was nice, very nice. No, it weren't overly windy for the windy city. Fahrenheit, hot day, Celsius for cold. Will be warmer for the Bears-Packers game Saturday night. Oh, yeah, we're back to Saturday night games now. Well, that time of the year. What's the temperature looking like for that game on Saturday night? It's out at Soldier Field. Ugh. City again, just knocking it round. Managed to burn off another 3 minutes off the time. Not much happening. City are going to make a couple of subs here. Bernardo Silva and Matheus Nunes going to be coming on. To be fair, Dave, I've watched Chicago a few times and they've looked very good. They've got a huge test to end the season. They've got Green Bay. I think they've got the 49ers and then the Detroit Lions. Some massive, 3 teams competing for a playoff spot. Here's Foden. Shot. A beautiful one-handed save from the keeper. Desperately unlucky that from Foden. Nice combination between Cherki and Foden once more. And yeah, you can only win what's put in front of you. To be fair, Cleveland have looked terrible this season. Cleveland Brown just basically doing what Cleveland Browns do. Unless you're the Miami Dolphins, we lost to the Cleveland Browns, which doesn't surprise me. Here's Tijjani Reijnders. Just couldn't quite get on there, and here's Brentford wanting to burst forward, and so it's not a very good pass, and O'Reilly should intercept. Speaking of rustiness, Brentford look really rusty as O'Reilly. Cynical foul there. Might be lucky not to get booked for that. Tyler says, my brother-in-law built 111 and owns majority of 500 North Lake Shore building. He's building 400 Lake Shore now. Nice, that's cool. The architecture around Chicago is amazing. The buildings there are tremendous, absolutely tremendous. Nico O'Reilly then is going to go off after an hour. And he's going to go off and Josko Gvardiol is going to come on. Bit of rotation there for O'Reilly. Let him have a little bit of a rest. Here's Matheus Nunes. He's going to come on for City. It's going to be Nico Gonzalez again. He's just going to do just over an hour and he's going to come off. So I wonder if that's going to be Matheus Nunes going into midfield. I know Bernardo Silva's also coming on. He's going to come on for Rayan Cherki. So that'd be interesting now to see who goes in defensive midfield. Thank you very much, Tyler. Much appreciated. Dave says, I lived with an American girl from 84 to 87. Watched it before. Before that, Kosar was good. Dave, the ladies man. What happened to the American girl? Well, we asked the big questions here on my channel, by the way. We asked the big questions. Can't tease us with a 3-year relationship and not tell us what happened. I don't think Cherki needed a rest either. Andy Man, the League Cup draw, the Carabao Cup draw, the EFL Cup, whatever you want to call it. The draw is today. It's after the Newcastle game. Cross comes in from Brentford, headed clear by City. I don't know why, but I sit here, even though we're only 1-0 up, and I feel very comfortable for the 1-0. Here's Savinho coming forward. Chance here, put something across the box. Shot comes in, the deflection and in. There we go. I said City were just looking very comfortable at 1-0. Make it 2-0 and we can look even more comfortable. It's a huge deflection there for Savinho. He'll have wanted his goal. He'll want this to go down as his goal. But Manchester City looking pretty good for going to the semi-final of the League Cup now. And a huge deflection just loops over the keeper. It's unlucky for Brentford. But we'll take it. We'll take that every day. Quick on the counter-attack there from City. Savinho just having them little burst of acceleration that he's got in him. I think that might well have been on target as well, you know. So this should go down as a Savinho goal. Yeah, looks like that's on target for me. So this should go down as a Savinho goal. So that should do his confidence the world of good, I hope. Right, we're 11 likes, guys, away from 100. Any help towards that would be great. Do subscribe as well if you're new around here. As I said, it's my last live stream before Christmas. I'll be at the Etihad for the game against West Ham. Hoping I can do a match vlog for that. So, yeah, I won't be doing a live stream for that match. I will be doing a live stream for the Forest away game. And I will be doing a live stream for City's game against Sunderland away as well on New Year's Day. And that's an evening game, isn't it? That one. A Reijnders assist. Here's City coming forward again. Foden goes with a back heel, takes a deflection. Brentford get it clear. Brentford now running out of time. They do have the added benefit that they need to score 2 goals. That'll send it to penalties, no extra time. It's Tijjani Reijnders now. It'd be great if he could get a goal, wouldn't it? McArthur fancies an effort. Oof. Not far away from McArthur either. Doesn't take any touches, just waits for it to fall to his left foot and just whacks the ball. And he's not far away. Not far away there from the young lad. Andy Man says, why is the 4th quarter-final match next week? It's because Crystal Palace, who've made it to the quarter-final stage, are in Europa Conference League action on Thursday. So that game can't be played this week. So it's very weird. They're not going to play any games on Christmas Eve, so that game has to be played on Tuesday. So that's next Tuesday. So they could either play Sunday in the Premier League or play Saturday. They're playing Saturday night. So there's literally just 48 hours between their game. In the Europa Conference League and the Premier League this weekend. At some point, there's got to be only 48 hours for them to be able to play that game. So I think they've just delayed that Arsenal game to as late as they can delay it to and then suck it up. And that's why that game's taking place next Tuesday. They've got 3 days worth of preparation, but the gap between their Europa Conference League game on Thursday and their Premier League game on Saturday night is literally 48 hours. So, yeah. It's a bit bizarre. That's why that game's taking place then. Because we played Palace on Sunday, they've not had the option, I don't think, to play it on Tuesday, the game against Arsenal, to then play 2 days later for the Europa Conference League, and then everything's just sandwiched 2 days in. So just to make the schedule a bit easier for Crystal Palace, it's getting played next week. Ideally, they'd want that game played on Wednesday, but they can't play Christmas Eve. So, and they should be in the Europa League. They did win the FA Cup, but they didn't submit the paperwork. So, unfortunately, they're not in the Europa League. And if they were in the Europa League, they won't be in this little predicament. Because I don't think the Europa League are playing on Thursday. I don't think. Let me double check that. No, just a Conference League. Yeah, there's only one game on Boxing Day, the Newcastle Man United game. Which is a bizarre tradition. There's a lot of English Football League games on Boxing Day. And I'm not going to complain because we're playing on the 27th, and I do a lot of stuff with family on Boxing Day, so I don't really get to watch the football, which I think is a great shame. So 27th works much better for me personally. It's just I don't like football traditions being broken. And because Boxing Day falls so close to Saturday this year, because Boxing Day's on a Friday, they've decided just to make Boxing Day games the normal Saturday games instead. Surprised they didn't put more games on Boxing Day, though. No real reason why they couldn't have, had 3 or 4 games on rather than just one. Here's Savinho with a shot. Blocked well. 18 minutes to go, guys. 6 likes to 100. Any help towards that would be great. Do subscribe as well. We've got plenty more Man City content to come. I've just sorted out my schedule for the next 2 weeks, and there's just loads. Loads. Do we exchange? Yeah, Christmas Day over here. Boxing Day is just like you spend Boxing Day getting over what's happened on Christmas Day. Hangovers, that kind of thing. That's what happens over here. Here's Savinho. He has a shot. Tame it straight at the keeper. No deflection for Savinho that time. To help guide it in, 17 minutes remain between Man City progressing to the semi-final of the League Cup. When was the last time we got to the semi-final of the League Cup? I feel like we've not had a League Cup run in 4 or 5 years. We used to take it very seriously. Won it a few times in a row. Is it 3, 4 times in a row we won it? And we just stopped taking it seriously. I'm not sure what the thing is behind Boxing Day. I should, but I don't. Yeah, 4 times in a row. We became the joint most successful team with Liverpool, and Liverpool have won it, I think, a couple of times, so they're now the most successful side. We were, for a little time, the joint most successful team in League Cup history. We've got 8 times we've won it. It'd be good to start taking it serious again. It's a shame they moved the final to March rather than February. I used to enjoy a little Wembley trip in February. I don't know why. Here's a bit of a hot take. I actually preferred a League Cup final to an FA Cup final. As Reijnders bursts forward here and will get City a corner. Yeah, the FA Cup final is just like a bit of a showpiece. It's not what it used to be, and national anthems and performances, and it just doesn't feel. It feels like a commercialised football match, and it feels a bit half-arsed. Like they don't want to, but they've got to do that. Whereas the League Cup finals just very much just like a big football match that's being played at Wembley with loads of Premier League games around it and stuff. It just feels like another game, but rather than it being a home game, it's just two sides that are allowed to take 40,000 fans down to Wembley and have a little weekend away in London. I don't know. I've been to a League Cup final. I've been lucky enough to go to a League Cup final. I've been lucky enough to go to an FA Cup final, and I think I preferred the League Cup final, to be honest. I think it's a bit of an underrated final. I hope if City get there again, I'll be lucky enough to be able to go again. But if not, we'll do a live watch along instead, and we'll have a good time. So corner here for Man City. Third will kill this off. We'll kill this off, and a bit of pulling going on there. Couldn't get a clean shot away there. Josko Gvardiol as Nathan Ake slips. I vaguely remember the old Wembley. Vaguely. I've never been. I've never seen it. My dad's a Bolton Wanderers fan. They played Aston Villa in an FA Cup semi-final in 2000. Might have been 2001. And he asked me, I was only like 5 or 6 at the time, do I want to go to Wembley and watch the game? I said, no, I'm not interested. I didn't like football back then. I didn't start liking football till 2001, 2002. Like a year or two later. If it was a year or two later, I'd have probably said yes. But I said no, so I never got to go to the old Wembley or never got to see it. That's a free kick against Bernardo Silva. Final 14 minutes of this game. There you go, Andy with a knowledge Boxing Day. Give you Christmas boxes containing gifts, money and leftovers to the servants, the poor and tradespeople, the working class, those that are beneath everybody else. That's a joke, by the way. I want people clipping that and saying JSGC doesn't like poor people. They're just mimicking what they would be saying. That's what's going through their heads when they're doing such ludicrous things. That's going to stay in, James Trafford's going to keep that one in. I remember when it was a Carling Cup. The Carling Cup. What other sponsors has it had? I'm trying to think of others. Did it used to have red ribbons on? It has the Capital One Cup. When I went to watch City against Chelsea, it was the Capital One Cup, I think. Might have been Carabao then. I can't remember. I can't remember what it was in 2019. Savinho goes down. Won't be a penalty. Be a corner though for Man City. Dave says it's awful when your kids don't like football. His support Warrington, the rugby side. I don't have any kids, so I can't relate. Corner here for City. The Johnston Paint Trophy. That's the EFL Trophy rather than the EFL Cup. The Johnston Paint Trophy. It's played between Man City's under 21s compete in it, but it's predominantly teams in the Football League who play in League 1 and League 2 that compete. Defensive midfield. It's I think it's Rico Lewis and Tijjani Reijnders. Matheus Nunes has gone to occupy at the back as a centre-back almost. Hudson's been given a freedom to get forward. Might be a bit of a tense finish if Brentford get a goal back, so City needs to be careful of that. Yeah, I could have sworn there was a sponsor for the League Cup. It used to have red ribbons on it. I might have to Google now who the old sponsors were of this cup. Who has sponsored the EFL Cup in the past? So it did used to be known as the Milk Cup. Before my time. Before my time, that. Coca-Cola Cup. What else have we had? The Littlewood Challenge Cup. Rumbelows Cup between 1992 and 1994. Coca-Cola did 1994 to 1998. Worthington between 1998 and 2003. Carlin had it for a long time between 2003 and 2012 as Jensen goes off and Donovan comes on for Brentford. Capital One had it between 2012 and 2016. And then 2017 to present has been Carabao. As Phil Foden, the sub, is going to get subbed. Oh, I think Mixed Sid Andy would like that answer of Preston North End. He'd like that answer. And the City fans, I think, would like it because it's quite a local away game. As a bit of history being made here, Phil Foden goes off. The sub that's getting subbed, we're going to see youngster Charlie Gray coming on. I would quite like... Who would I like to see? I would like to see Preston in there, just for Mixed Sid's sake. I think it'd be good to have the JSGC derby in the Premier League for at least a season. I think that'd be entertaining. Middlesbrough. I like Middlesbrough. I think I'd like to see them in the Premier League. I don't think I'd be completely against the return of Birmingham City into the Premier League. Millwall, I think, could fire things up. That'd be quite feisty. Wouldn't mind seeing them in the Premier League. I don't think Bristol City have been in the Premier League before either. I think they'd be quite an interesting one. Sheffield Wednesday, obviously, like they're going to be relegated from the Championship. I think they'd be a good one. I mean, Coventry haven't been in the Premier League for a long time. That'd be a welcome asset into the Premier League, I think, as well. It'd be good to see some teams who haven't been in the Premier League for a long time coming back in. You know, it was refreshing to see Sunderland come back in after a few years, and it'd be good to get Coventry. It's like 20 odd years since they've been last in the Premier League. Middlesbrough's not been in it for a few years. Wednesday's not been in it for quite a while. Preston North End have never been in it, so, you know. Them, Millwall, Bristol City, Queen's Park Rangers, yeah. Sean said he'd like to see Leicester in there. Fair enough, it's a fair shout, former Premier League champions. And he'd like to see Bolton back in there. Probably my dad would like that answer. Restless would like to see Swansea. Tamworth, let's get them in. Oldham Athletic. Just all kind, loads and loads and loads. It's boring, isn't it? Seeing the same teams go up and down all the time. Get some new blood in there. Here's MacArthur. He's gone to the left. He's got the support of Charlie Gray. Gets a nice little interception there. Stops the Brentford counter-attack. 7 minutes then to go. 7 minutes to go. I think Rayan Cherki's probably going to be my man of the match. His outstanding finish is worthy of any man of the match, but him and Phil Foden, the link-up play, I think that's been the big difference between the two sides. Both sides have made changes. Both sides have looked rusty. You know, we've relied on players who have been sharp coming in and you know, making things happen. And Foden and Cherki, I think, have been the big difference between these two sides for me. Foden didn't look injured. No, he looked fine. Blackburn, they give you a massive away following at Blackburn. There's a nice long ball played over. Tijjani Reijnders takes the touch. Here comes the cavalry in support. Norwich do like a bit of a yo-yo. West Brom used to like a real good yo-yo as well. Back and forwards between the leagues. Burnley have started doing it. I can see Leeds United taking it up as well. Anyway, guys, we've got just 5 minutes to go. We're 1 like away from 100 likes. So who wants to be the 100th like on today's live stream? Do leave a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe as well. I am, I think, going to end this stream upon near a full time. I'm not going to wait for the draw because I want to crack on. We're doing my match reaction at work tomorrow, nice and early. So I just want to get prepared and get sorted ASAP. So upon the full time whistle, I'll be ending the stream. I wish you all a happy Christmas as well, because it's my last stream before Christmas, this one, as I'm at the game on Saturday. So no live watch-along, unfortunately. Here's Savinho, gets to the right wing, tries to make something happen. Brentford. City have done a good job here of, going 2-0 up. They've not stopped at Brentford. They've kept going. They've kept going. Best kind of draw. I mean, there's a free kick there. Matheus Nunes trying to track back. He's going to get a yellow card for his troubles as well. I think it depends who goes through. To be honest, I'd probably want to avoid Arsenal. Dundee United have found an equaliser against Celtic. Yeah, I think I'd want to avoid Arsenal. I'd prefer not to face Chelsea. It is what it is. As we smash 100 likes, so thank you very much for that, guys. Much appreciated. Yeah, I'd prefer not to face Chelsea. Newcastle wouldn't be easy. Fulham or Crystal Palace would be my pick if they go through. If they don't go through, I'd probably say Chelsea. Depends where that second leg's at, really. Although I'd probably be more confident that we could kill a game off after one leg against Newcastle than we would against Chelsea. So, yeah. Chuck, welcome. Thanks for tuning in. Looks like City are going to be making it 6 wins in a row. It's a ball in. It's too deep by Brentford. They've not been on it. He struggled, Damsgaard. I mentioned in the first half he struggled and struggled as well here. Couple more substitutions made by Brentford. Going to see Yarmouk coming off. Chuck watching at work. Don't get caught, Chuck. Appreciate you tuning in, though. Much appreciated. I was waiting for these confirmation of these Brentford substitutions. So Yarmouk and Shades going off. Nunes and Konak coming on. Ake's had a pretty good performance. I actually, other than that Khusanov yellow card that could have been a red in the first half, I actually think Khusanov's looked pretty solid at the back. He looked rusty, but he's got better as the game's gone on, in my opinion. Savinho's just done what Savinho does. Good for him to get a goal. I don't think he's looked the sharpest. James Trafford's pulled off a couple of good saves. Cherki, Foden looked sharp. McArthur I don't think's looked too far out of place. We've linked up and it's got the job done. It's much, we've played much better and done much better today than what we did against Bayer Leverkusen. It might have been a different story. That Leverkusen game was against the Leverkusen first team, an informed Leverkusen first team. This is against the Brentford rotated side. If it was a full-strength Brentford side, I think this might have been a very interesting, very close game. As it is, City have done what they've needed to do, and that's all you can ask. You put your starting 11 out, you want to get a job done, you do what you need to do, and City have managed to do that. And it's going to get us to the semi-final. It's going to be over 2 legs in January. There's lots of big games coming up in January, so yeah, we could do is just sorting out a bit of the rustiness and ensuring that we're rotating on a regular basis. Thank you very much, Andy. Much appreciated. And big Merry Christmas as well to everybody else. Andy and Alison to you as well. It's important now, I think, for City just to try and keep this clean sheet. I will take a 2-0 every day of the week here. Every day of the week. The thing is, City look hungry. Hungry to score goals, hungry to defend, and hungry to keep clean sheets. Which is really good. It's been a good response from the players. You know, them 2 defeats that we had when we came back after the international break, it won't have been easy for the players. We weren't playing particularly well. In games against Leeds and Fulham, they weren't good games of football that we'd played. There were frailties there. We just seem to have upped it a notch. I think we've taken a lot of confidence from beating a good Sunderland side 3-0, and we've not really looked back since. You know, wins against Real Madrid away, win away against Crystal Palace, made short work of that. Rotated heavily here and getting the job done. Got a big game just before Christmas against West Ham at home. You know, we can follow that up with 3 points. You know, we can go top momentarily on Saturday because Arsenal are playing after us. Saturday night game against Everton, where, you know, if we beat West Ham, we've got a superior goal difference on Arsenal. It means Arsenal have to go to Merseyside and win. And Arsenal record in Liverpool is a bit hit and miss. New stadium for Everton. Everton will be well up for that one. So, you know, just get the job done against West Ham and move on from there. Move on from there. Right, City nearly seen this one out. I heard Jackie G might be missing the game, but I think that might just be David Moyes' mind games. I think Dewsbury Hall's missing, and that's a big blow for Everton as a good cross comes in from Brentford, defended really well from City. 2 minutes left for City to see out. So we'll go for 110 likes in the post-production, guys. Any help towards that would be great. Do subscribe. Do get your thoughts in the comments below. Whilst we're live, get your full-time thoughts in as well. Who do you want in the semi-final? Let me know in the live chat. Also, don't forget as well to leave a thumbs up. 110 likes is the aim. I forget where I'm up to. Do subscribe. All that jargon, you know what I'm on about. Another replay. The Haaland celebration from Cherki. Shake of the hands from Haaland and Cherki. I like that. I like that. Here's Brentford. Big opportunity this for Brentford to get a ball across, and James Trafford can clutch hold of that ball and keeps his clean sheet intact. Here's Bernardo. Looks for some space. Can find Savinho in some space. Here's Matheus Nunes. Surprised Savinho's not made a darting run. He'll be keen to try and add to his tally, make things happen. Savinho plays a ball into Nunes. A lot of water on that pitch now. The ball just holds up a bit, slows down, and it allows City to keep hold of the ball rather than that ball trickling away for a goal kick. Here is Gray. Gray playing in central midfield, by the way. Making his debut for Manchester City today. So Bernardo Silva, just 50 seconds for City to see out. Looks like they're going to go through here. Crowd emptying now at the Etihad Stadium. Everyone making their way back home. Job well done for Manchester City. A job well done. Here's Bernardo then to Nunes. Here's Ake. He dinks a ball over. Defended well by Brentford. Divin Makasa gets his foot onto that, and it's just 20 seconds to go. And, you know, it runs out at 90 minutes. I should really get an added time on, so it just carries on playing, really, an unlimited clock. I'll get one sorted for that in the near future. And it just keeps playing. Right, there's the full-time whistle. Job done. Man City into the semi-final. And good stuff. City go through. Brentford go out. Some weird exchange of words there between Pep Guardiola and Keith Andrews. Rayan Cherki with a wonderful goal to open the scoring. A real good hit. If you've not seen the goal, watch it on the highlights. A tremendous hit. And deflected Savinho effort sees City win this one 2-0, and we go to the semi-final, 2-leg semi-final, to see if we can get to Wembley for the League Cup final, which would be excellent. So, as I said, leave a thumbs up. 110 likes is the aim. Get your thoughts in the comments below. Subscribe if you're new around here. It is free to subscribe. Social media links there in the description as well. If you want to go and follow me on my X, Instagram and TikTok, email also in the description too if you want to hit me up for any sponsorships or any videos or any general business inquiries. As I said, no live watch along on Saturday. I am at the Etihad, I'll rephrase, for the game against West Ham. So no live watch along, unfortunately. Next live watch along will be on the 27th of December, 10 days time, away game against Nottingham Forest. Does mean my last live stream before Christmas, so anyone that celebrates, have a very merry and very happy Christmas. If you don't celebrate, enjoy what I hope will be a few days off. Get yourself well rested. If you're not having any time off and you don't celebrate, then just have a fantastic time. Regardless, and I'll see you all again 10 days time for the next live watch along. Man City's away game against Nottingham Forest. Fingers crossed we can get the job done against West Ham. Hopefully have a match vlog for that game for you guys to enjoy as well. And I'll see you all again real soon. Match reaction up in the next hour. Pep Guardiola seems to be having a go at everyone. Not happy with Keith Andrews. Not happy with the referee. Bernardo Silva's not happy about something. Handbags on the pitch. Job done though for City. We go through. Take it easy, guys. Merry Christmas all as well. Peace. Ciao for now.